I'm here to see my son. Margaret Stanford eyed the young woman in front of her with disdain. I will not leave here until you show me the way to Christopher Stanford's room. She looked around the inn with distaste. Why he has to stay here to recover is beyond me. I'm sorry. Nancy's eyes narrowed. Who are you? Miss Honey. Margaret Stanford glared at Nancy. You know perfectly well who I am. Now stop stalling and get my son. I would. Nancy looked at Margaret smugly. But I'm watching the front desk, so I can't run off to do your bidding. Where is Cody? Margaret said angrily. Let's hear what she has to say about you being rude to a customer's mother. Ah, Nancy nodded. I see your mistake now. You think that Christopher is a customer here. Well, he's not. He's a guest of Miss Moore, she informed a shocked Margaret. As your son is a guest of Miss Moore, I am not at liberty to disturb him. You'll have to speak to Miss Moore about that. Then call Cody. Margaret raised her voice. I'm getting tired of your sass. Sass? Nancy raised her eyebrows. I'm shocked that people still use that word. She shook her head. Well, I'd love to rush to do your bidding and not subject you to my sass. Cody is not here, but you can go to the Marine Life Center. You'll find her there. I hope Christopher is not with her. Margaret glared at Nancy. I believe he is. Nancy looked at Margaret. And before you get all prickly about that, his doctor and brother are with him. What in the blazes is that? Margaret took a step back as Sheba, the Moore's large ragdoll cat, hopped onto the front desk. She sat wagging her tail, eyeing Margaret. It's a cat, Nancy told Margaret with a straight face. You know, a small domesticated carnivorous feline. I know what a cat is, Miss Honey. Margaret's cheeks were stained with angry red. Now call the Marine Life Center and get Cody to bring my son back here. I will not set foot in that smelly place. I don't think the sea life at the Marine Life Center would... Nancy was stopped mid-sentence by her mother, Connie Taylor, who came from the kitchen. Nancy, don't you have to get ready for a shift? Connie gave Nancy a warning look. Hello, Margaret. She looked at Margaret coldly. Did you arrange to see Christopher today? She opened a diary on the desk marked See Stanford's Visitors. I don't see your name in the visitor's logbook. Why would I need to make an appointment to visit my son? Margaret hissed. His doctor has a strict guest protocol for Christopher at the moment, Connie explained to Margaret. We are under strict instructions to only let approved visitors see him. That's absurd, Margaret scoffed. I'm his mother. I don't need an appointment. Actually, Mother, Steven Stanford walked through the front door of the inn. You do. Steven, Margaret greeted her eldest son a little frostily. Where is your brother? And what is this nonsense about having to make an appointment to see him? Christopher had brain surgery not too long ago, Steven reminded her. We have to keep him as stress-free as possible, and you, Mother, tend to raise people's blood pressure. That's nonsense, Margaret fobbed it off. Why would I stress Christopher out? Oh, Nancy put her hand up. Please, can I answer that? No, Steven and Connie said together and glared at Nancy. I was going to be medical about it, Nancy said with a pout. I warned you, Mother, Steven reminded Margaret, on many occasions not to talk about work and everyday life pressures to Christopher until he was well enough to cope with them again. Christopher has responsibilities to the company. Margaret's eyes narrowed.